Okay, so we'll be looking at the CSEC Chemistry January 2019 paper 1. Alright, so I'm going to go through everything, and if we have an issue, please go down in the comment section and explain your issue so we can so we can grow, I guess. Right, so let's look at the first set of questions here. Which of the following processes demonstrates that matter is made up of minute particles? This would be diffusion. 2. The notation here the subscript 17 represents the atomic number. Well, is it the atomic number of chlorine? Yes, it would be. From the table below, which of the following substances represented by the options A, B, C, and D is most likely sodium chloride? So we're saying that, right, they would have high boiling points, yes. So these would be out because it's an ionic compound, right? They would be in a solid state. Do they conduct electricity in solid state? Right? No, it wouldn't. Right? In the aqueous state, yes, it would. So the best one would be C. Right? The salt whose solubility changes to the greatest extent in the temperature range 0 to 60. So looking at 0 to 60, which one has the greatest temperature? Wait, which was of the greatest solubility change? We'd say potassium nitrate. Which of the following substances supplies protons as the only positive ions in solution? This be acids based on this. Crystals of sodium chloride are best described as ionic. Ionic equation for the reaction between an acid and a carbonate represents. We know that an acid and a carbonate gives us an acid reacting with a carbonate would give us carbon dioxide plus water. Alright, so we're looking at a balanced equation. That should be it. When 100 cm cubes of 2 mole per dm cube hydrochloric acid in excess is added to 5 grams of granulated zinc, hydrogen gas is evolved at a certain rate. If 5 grams of powdered zinc were used, the rate of production of hydrogen gas would increase because of the increased surface area. The element X has an electronic configuration of 281. Which of the following positions is the element in the periodic table? So 281, right? So it would be in period 3, group 1. Alright, let's look at this now. Which of the following properties above refer to the neutron? So the way the neutron is neutral and approximate mass is around 1. So this would be B. Which one refers to the proton? Positive, and mass is 1. 2 solutions are to be mixed in order to demonstrate an endothermic change. Which of the following techniques would be most appropriate? Remember that endothermic changes tend to be cold, so taking the temperature, calorimetry. Sulfur and oxygen are in the same group of the periodic table because have the same number of electrons on the outer shell. How many moles of ethanoic acid are required to produce 0.5 moles of ester? We're seeing here that what we're seeing here is a 1:1 to 1 ratio. That means if we're going to be producing 0.5 moles of the ester, alright, we need 0.5 moles of the acid, 0.5 moles of ethanol, we'll produce 0.5 moles of water based on this equation B. Which of the following compounds is covalent? Alright, so covalent compounds would be hydrogen chloride here, a metal and, well, 2 nonmetals, right? So non-metal plus non-metal is covalent, metal and non-metal is ionic, and just metal is metallic. Okay, so which of the following acids above has a basicity of 2? Has a basicity of 2. That's a weird way to say it. Shouldn't mean an acidity of 2. If it has a basicity of 2, I think it would be acidity of 2 actually. Alright, so which one of them would be the stronger acids, right? So we might go with sulfuric acid. That's a better answer. Which of the following acids above is weakly ionized in aqueous solution would be ethanoic acid. Which of the following reacts with an acid liberating a gas which turns lime water milky? B. Calcium carbonate. Which of the following gases shows no reaction with moist litmus paper? Ammonia would show, hydrogen should show, sulfur dioxide. So the dioxides of group 4 elements are acidic in some nature. Hydrogen sulfide. No reaction with moist litmus paper. This is quite interesting. We'll go with hydrogen sulfide for now. Which of the following properties increases across period 3 of the periodic table? Atomic number will increase. The solution of iron sulfate was added until excess to a solution of barium nitrate. The precipitate produced was filtered off and water was added to the residue in the filter paper. The color of the precipitate, right? So looking at the color of the precipitate form, so this would be barium sulfate. Right, barium sulfate generally should be white. Alright, so I think it should be, well, the barium ion, alright, when heated will be green. So I think that's probably there to throw anybody off, really. Alright, so I do believe that barium sulfate could be generally white. The mass of oxygen atoms contains the same number of moles of this amount of sulfur atoms is, right? So we're looking at the number of moles. So the mass of oxygen atom will contain the same number of moles as this amount of sulfur atoms. So how many moles of sulfur is this, right? Moles equal mass over the molar mass, and this would give us 112 over 32. A moment. 112 divided by 32 should give us 3.5, right? And then we're looking at the mass of oxygen. Now to get the mass is moles times molar mass. So we have 3.5 times 16. So times by 16, this should give us 56 grams. Looking at this, the bond between the two carbon atoms is a double bond. Which of the following halogens is a liquid at room temperature? This liquid at room temperature, this would be bromine. A catalyst increases the rate of reaction because it provides an alternative route with a lower activation energy. Which of the following reactions occurs during propane? Well, between well, protein, propene and bromine. This would be an addition reaction. FeCl2 and FeCl3, so are two chlorides of iron. Which of the following statements about the two chlorides of iron are true? The percentage of iron by mass is different in two chlorides. The color of the chlorides are different. Are the aqueous solutions of the two chlorides do not conduct? Right? Shouldn't it conduct? Since it's ionic, shouldn't it conduct electricity? Therefore, 3 should be out. When solid lead nitrate is heated, it decomposes, giving off nitrogen oxide and gas, and oxygen. The balance equation for this is, right? So looking at lead nitrate, remember what lead nitrate is. We have to know our polyatomic ions, right? So lead nitrate should be, it should be here. So this is correct, this is correct, this is correct, this is correct, right? But what would it give us? Decomposition. Right, so decomposition of lead nitrate should give us, let me see here, the lead oxide and 4 molecules of that. Alright, so A is the best answer here. Balancing it, the metal atom becomes an ion. When a metal atom becomes an ion, it loses electrons, becomes more positive, right? So it loses electrons, and oil rig, oxidation is loss and reduction is gain. So it loses electrons and is oxidized. A solution of sodium hydroxide is neutralized by the addition of dilute hydrochloric acid. The results obtained are used to plot the graph below. Which of the points on the graph above represents neutralization point of the reaction? It would be Q. Okay, if substances containing 1 mole of solute per dmQ are investigated, which substance should cause the bulb to glow brightest? B. Sulfuric acid. Alright, so refer to the following diagrams which represents bonding as it occurs in certain compounds, right? Alright, so which of the diagrams illustrate bonding in chlorine? In our chlorine as a double bond, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Chlorine, remember, it's a single bond, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. D would be chlorine. Right, diagram shows bonding in oxygen. Oxygen would be a double bond now, right? So it would be a double bond for oxygen. So which one shows a double bond? This shows a double bond, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It should be fine there. Hold on, let me check something real quick. So that can't be it. This can't be it. Isn't this a triple bond? This can't be it. So it has to be B. Which of the following processes correctly describes the reaction above? So this is a neutralization reaction. A compound when treated with concentrated hydrochloric acid gives off a greenish yellow gas which bleaches moist red litmus paper. This is chlorine. Which of the following, which reactions involves boiling of fat or oil with aqueous sodium hydroxide, caustic soda? This is saponification, right? A current of 5 amperes was passed for 93 seconds, right, through a solution of copper 2 sulfate ions, right? We have Faraday's constant here. The mass of copper that would be gained. All right. So we're looking at calculating mass with Faraday's constant. All right. So if we should remember this equation, really, right? This equation would be what? Right? What would it be? So all right. So you're using the Faraday's constant to do this. All right. So for this equation, we have to use Faraday's law, right? And Faraday's law states that the amount of copper that's going to be produced is going to be proportional to the current that is passed through it, right? Generally. But in order to calculate the mass overall, the mass is going to be equal. Oh, let me erase this. Why is it not erasing? Okay. The mass is going to be equal to the current times the time, right, times the mass over Faraday's constant times charge, right? How do we get charge? Remember that charge is Q, and Q is equal to current times time, right? So if we try to find the charge, current times time, we're gonna have 5 amperes times 193 seconds, and this so it looks like SA. 5 amperes times 193 seconds. We should get 5 times 193, 965. Sorry, 965. Right? That would be the charge in coulombs. Right? Now we need the current, time, and mass. Right? So the mass of copper sulfate here. Well, the mass of copper that we're using here is 65. Right? That's the mass of copper that we're using. So the current is gonna be 5, right, times 196 here, the time, times 65, and this will be divided by Faraday's constant, which is 96,500 times 965. So we're just looking at this. So 5. So looking at this. So 5 times 193, right? I wrote that wrong. 193, right? Times 65, and we're gonna put that all over 96,500. Times that by 965. That should give us an interesting answer, right? Okay, let me just reduce this answer. Right, so we're supposed to get that. A second. 735. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0.006. Alright, so I think the best answer here may be 0.005 at the cathode. The compound ethene is described as being unsaturated. This means that it has at least one double bond. Which of the following metals will react most vigorously with dilute acid? Right. So we're looking at which one is the most reactive. Right. So which one would tarnish? Well, not really just tarnishing, but looking at tarnishing can allow you to figure out which one is the most reactive of the metals. Right. And for this, we could look at the electrochemical series, right, to find out. So we're looking at acid, dilute acid, right? Looking at hydrogen. So which one is more reactive than the other? We should note that lead itself is more reactive than iron, and iron is more reactive than zinc, right? But copper would be more reactive than all of them. So copper is probably the best one, right? Which of the following methods is used for extraction of aluminium? We're going to look at the reduction, electrolysis of its molten oxide. Which of the following metals is an important constituent of chlorophyll? Magnesium. Which of the following options list all the raw materials used in the extraction of iron? We're gonna need iron. So we're not gonna use bauxite. We're gonna use iron ore. Well, all the raw materials used. We don't use cryolite, right? So we use air, coke, iron ore, and limestone. Which of the following compounds may be used to counteract the effects of acid rain in the soil? Calcium oxide. Here, which of the following most likely identifies P and Q? So P is an alcohol and Q is an ester. What is the correct structural formula for this, for the reactant here? So we're gonna have B being the answer. For the bromine, remember that bromine is diatomic. One will go here, breaking the bond, and the other will go here. Alright, let's look at this now. Which of the following compounds has a fruity odor? So we're probably looking at an ester, which has a fruity odor. Alright, so which one would be the ester here? C would be the ester. Which of the following compounds above reacts with sodium carbonate to produce a gas and reclaim water? So this has to be the acid. So A is the acid. Which of the following is produced when carbon monoxide reacts with iron trioxide? Carbon monoxide and iron trioxide. What is the reaction there? Okay. So the reaction between them should give us, I think, molecular iron and carbon dioxide. Right? Hexene is an alkane with 6 carbons, right? So I think we could say CnH2n plus 2, right? So it's going to be 6, 12. Right, remember if we look at it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Alright, so it's 2n plus 2, yes. Compounds 1 and 2 are known as isomers. But they form positional isomers, right? So that this steel is often used in place of iron because it is stronger. Which of the following statements are true? Well, is or are true of alkenes? True. True, not true. 2, 1 and 2. Which of the following tests can be used to distinguish between an alkene and an alkene? An alkene and an alkene. This can be used. Probably this. Burning could do it as well. Let me see. No, not really. What type of reaction occurs when zinc metal is added with copper sulfate ions? This would be displacement. One. But copper sulfate, right? Isn't copper more active than zinc metal? Is copper more active than zinc? I need to have to really think about that. I think it is more active than zinc, but it have the more oxidizing. Oh, let me see. Zinc metal and copper sulfate. Right. Give me a moment. The type of reaction between copper sulfate, right, and zinc. I haven't done this in a while, you know. It should be a type of redox reaction. I think it would be a displacement. During the manufacture of ethanol by fermentation, the gas evolved with nope. Alright, because carbon dioxide, which of the following is a natural source of hydrocarbons? Petroleum. All members of molecular series have similar chemical properties. Here now, which of the following is a reason for adding cryolite to the pure alumina in the extraction? We're reducing the melting point. Right? Which of the following substances is a product of halogenation reaction with methane? Right, so this would be hydrogen chloride. And which of the following compounds is not formed from condensation polymerization? I think that it should be polyalkenes. Alright, so that is it for the January 2019 paper 1 chemistry CSEC.